Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. This is Doster Andrew Lake bringing you the acid quote of the day. You remind me of the miracle of beauty. I'm hoping you're fine, hoping you're smiling, feeling the good vibes. And of course, it's time to rise and shine. I was thinking maybe I shouldn't say good morning on these episodes because I don't know what time of day you're waking up. You could be waking up in the afternoon, and of course I assume the first thing you're going to do is listen to the Andrew Lake podcast, tuning in for your acid quote of the day to pick you up, to get you on your way, just as a reminder of the phenomenon, the occurrence, the realization of beauty. You remind me of the miracle of beauty. It's a roundabout way of saying that I think you're beautiful. I think this day is beautiful. I see beauty. And deeper than that, I not only see beauty, but I appreciate that beauty exists. I appreciate that I have been able to arrive at the ability to see beauty. I am grateful for having the perspective that allows for the growing in beauty. I'd like to talk a little bit about some of my experiences, some of the most beautiful moments in my life, how I arrived at them. It's not an exact science, as I've said before. It's been a journey. It's been something of a coincidence in many ways, a synchronicity, a craft, an art. So, do you think I should say good morning? I mean, I don't know what time it is for you. I usually try to release these in the morning, New York time, because at least with that, then you're waking up and you can have your acid quote of the day. Of course, as always, this acid quote is available on Etsy, the Acid Quote Tees merchandise store. You can follow the link in the description, head on over. And I'd also like to talk a little bit about some of my recent experiences and what I've been doing. This is a bit strange, this is a bit random, but of course I make no apologies for being random. Here, in this space that we establish, this space here we establish for free-flowing stories, personal stories, ideas. This is the rawness that I'm bringing to you. I hope you can appreciate that. Anyway, funny story, here we go. Since I've been living in a new city, I went to find a mall. So I went to the mall and I was very pleased, very happy to find that in this particular mall there was a grand piano, open grand piano. Anyone can play it anytime. And usually there's lots of people in the mall and there's loud music and I don't really feel so much to play at those times. So I've been going back just once a week or so, early in the morning, to play this grand piano. And I play my romantic style, I play my jazz standards, I play my cocktail jazz, I play Autumn Leaves, I play All the Things You Are, all the jazz classics, all the American jazz classics, classic American styles. You know the styles. Anyway, that's my style, that's what I do. And it's become this rather quirky atmosphere because early in the morning, the mall has a different vibe in the air. First of all, it's early. It's maybe 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. before the shops are open. And having all the shops closed, and there's certain characters that come out at that time. There might be someone cleaning. There might be the security guard walking past. There might be a stray person who's wandered in just to use the bathroom. And also, right by where I play the piano, there's this lady that does her morning exercise up and down the stairs. So she is hiking, very old lady, she must be quite elderly, but she hikes as if she's doing her exercise up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs. And I've noticed her, and I'm sure she's noticed me playing away, and she's probably even enjoyed some of the cocktail jazz music. And along with that, you've got all the images of the mall. These highly crafted supermodels and all these products, all these sleek designs, all these brand names. And it's funny because it's somehow shallow and also multidimensional. Because in the mall, there's this thing of glamour. It's beauty. It's sort of beauty in a sense, like it's surface appearance beauty. And yet I know that all of the materials are as cheap and as fake and as surface appearance as they can. When they have a marble wall, it's not actually marble. I know it's lino print. I know it's just plastic. And when they have the mannequins, I know they look sexy. They're sexy mannequins. And yet I know they're made of plastic. And I know all the walls and all the windows and all the floors and all the benches and all the things that contain products. It's all plastic. It's all fake. It's all the cheapest, absolute most basic materials that they make it out of. And yet at the same time, there is this multidimensionality to it, which is that they have half reflective glass, images that change. They have mirrors, neon lights, windows that you sort of see half through, but then you also have half reflection. There might be some lights or some images reflecting on them or on parts of them. So it makes this intricate thing where you can see depth. You can see through things. You can see through the window into this multidimensional perspective. Now, Gene Gebser talks about this when he talks about his stages of consciousness development. He talks about transparency as a stage. And it really takes a kind of vision, a kind of ability in your consciousness to reach this stage, to be able to see through the surface appearances. Of course, it's very much possible to be in the mall and to only see the surface appearances. Likewise, it's possible to see reflections in things that you wouldn't normally think are reflective. Just think of the side of a car. Now, when people see cars, they're quite a common gestalt. So in the mind, you recognize that shape as a car. A car is a car. It's got wheels, it's got a front, it's got a back, it's got doors, it behaves in a certain way, and that's the way that it is. But if you actually look at a car, you can actually see there is a reflection in it. You can see there's a picture that's warped, of course, over the shape of the car. It's not an exact mirror, but there's a depth to it, and you can look into that reflection as if it were its own world. You can see it as its own multidimensionality. And when you see it like that very deeply, you see that cars are actually hollow. Reflections are actually hollow. And hollowness actually has a relation to depth to it. So anyway, I go to the mall and I play the piano, and there's a stray security guard. And there's the old lady doing her exercises up and down the stairs. And there's supermodels in their big images in the clothing windows. And I see these supermodels and I think, wow, they're really listening to me. They're really listening intently. They're pulling this face like it's interesting, the kind of music that I'm playing. They really have it's a strange sort of reaction. And I think to myself that this time of day, in this place, is the place for the freaks. It's the time for the weirdos. It's the time for your true colours to be shown. The true expression. And of course, as the morning rolls on, what happens is some cafes open up and you hear some bustling sounds and some early customers start to arrive and the retail workers start to open up some of the shops. And then, of course, the moment it ends is when the music comes on. It's very loud. It's pop music. And I usually can't play at all once that happens. So that's the end of my fun. And it's sort of like, okay, then the mall comes alive and it's this very different thing. And it's strange because I could almost swear that in that moment, the supermodels change their expression. They're no longer listening to cocktail jazz, but they're actually putting on a face to sell their products again. It's almost like they've switched from the morning atmosphere into the, this is work time. So that's a little bit about my recent experiences, and it's related to this thing of the miracle of beauty, which is that it's amazing that beauty exists at all. And it's because beauty exists at all that we have these fake things. It's because of beauty that we know that these big brands and these supermodels, they're all fake. They're all shallow. Now, I don't have anything against them as personal people, and I don't even have anything against developing a product. I mean, Acid Quote Teas is its own fashion brand in a sense. So there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is that it's riding on what we would call a truth in beauty, the miracle of beauty, the real depth of beauty. When you see something beautiful, it's undeniable and it stays with you. Beauty and truth are very closely related in that when you experience something that's truly beautiful, it stays true. Whereas when you buy your fashion brands, and you buy all the things that you do when you go shopping at the mall, it wears off. It gives you a kick, you get a high, you enjoy the multidimensionality of the experience, but it wears off. And those products become something stale. They become something worn out. They become something forgotten about. Whereas with true beauty, it's lasting. And perhaps one of the most beautiful experiences of my life was experiencing the Mystic Rose Awareness Intensive. And I experienced this. I participated in this group at the Osho International Meditation Resort in India. And it was a big group of us. First time I did it, it was 14 people. And I think the second time I did it was about the same number. So not too many compared to how big some awareness intensives can be. And I realized that the most beautiful peak in that awareness intensive came with a lot of realizations that are still with me to this day. For example, encountering beauty in an intense way almost always comes after long, hard work. It comes after a period of slogging away, of pushing, of gnashing of teeth, grinding of nails, of pouring, of tearing, of really just giving it everything you've got. And another thing is that beauty is always personal. It's always incidental to you, and it's always incidental to the moment that you're in. Another realization is that beauty is not so much constructed, so much more that it is a recipe that relies upon synchronicity. Now, when we talk about formulas and recipes and awareness techniques and the meditation path, there is a kind of process that you go through. There's certain things where you do certain things at a certain time, in a certain way, in a certain order, for a certain number of days, in a certain number of ways, and then you get your result. There is a sense to that. There is a formulaic side to all of this. And there is a formulaic side to beauty. But the realization that I had with Mystic Rose is that it relies upon spontaneous entanglements with synchronicity. Things synchronize together in a way that can't be constructed. They can't be forced together. So yes, you follow a formula, but after you follow the formula, you have to allow things to be falling into place by chance. And Mystic Rose is very much a formula. It's a very much organized structure. And yet, when you experience the Mystic Rose, you see how much of your intuition and spontaneity and uniqueness of the moment is at play. And it's a beautiful thing. And I love to say that you remind me of the miracle of beauty, which is that the very structure of beauty itself becomes more aware to myself when I see you. And of course you can use this t-shirt as a kind of pickup line, right? This is a kind of pickup line, or a kind of love letter line. It's a mini love letter, like I want to send my love to you, and I want to say that it's something deeper than just I love you, or I think you're beautiful, or I feel you're beautiful. It is that you remind me of how beautiful beauty is. That's a sort of another version of this. You remind me of the miracle of beauty is very similar to you remind me of how beautiful beauty is. And it's just another way of being deeper, right? It's just another way of saying something funny. Well, I mean, funny as in ha-ha funny, but funny as in quirky, I mean, I don't know. Look, I really don't know. And I don't mean to undermine myself, but I feel that what I've said stands up and what I have experienced stands up. Because you do remind me of the miracle of beauty. And that's something worth pursuing. Beauty is very much something worth investing in. It's worth as something going after. And if there is a formula to it, like if someone comes to you with a formula for it, it's up to you to try it. Knowing that it's only part of it. If someone gives you a formula for beauty, that's only part of it. So don't expect an ABC outcome, but you can learn these insights and these realizations for yourself by experimenting and expanding yourself. Experimenting with and expanding yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. So you remind me of the miracle of beauty. And those are a few of my experiences at the mall, playing the piano, outside those peak hours, and also with Mystic Rose, which was an awareness intensive invented by Osho. And of course, I am going to have my own awareness intensives. I hope someday you can come along. We've got many ideas, many opportunities, and there are many formulas. There are many ways that you can construct this realization within yourself. You can come to this realization. And in a sense, you get a little flick of it when I just say, have a good day, and you feel that. To the extent that you can believe that I am wishing you a good and beautiful day is the extent by which you are open to beauty. So when I say have a good day, as I always say, I really mean it, which is also something that I always say. Am I becoming too much over the top on what I'm asserting so many times? Am I becoming too much what do you call it? Not evasive. Well, that might be still remain to be the case. I might be becoming too much evasive, but verbaceous. Verbose, too much verbs, too much words. Is that what I'm saying? And I mean, it's like, where's the irony in that? Am I using too many words on a talking head podcast? Am I using too many words? Anyway, look, let's wrap this up. We're out of time for today. So have a beautiful day. Enjoy your times. I wish you love. I wish you're feeling good. And I wish you can remember the miracle of beauty. Head on over to Acid Quote Tees on Etsy and pick up your acid quote. Have a beautiful day, sending you love and a very warm wishes to you now and for always. Feel the love, stay cozy, stay cute, have fun, and we'll be back very soon with more. Tune in for the next episode. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.